Now, back to the interview from a few minutes ago with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy. The best of the Morning X. 99X.
Talking to Marc Summers from the Game Show Network.
Everybody's heard the story, the famous Newlywed Game question when Bob Eubanks says to the couple, "Where's the most unusual place you and your husband have ever made love or made whoopee," as you say? And the woman says, "In the butt, Bob."
Right.
And I have always said that story. I've never met anybody who has seen that tape. I've never met anybody who can actually say that happened. And you said,
I just did Rosie O'Donnell with Eubanks and a bunch of other game show hosts, and that topic came up, and Bob said it never happened.
It's an urban legend.
You're
Total
kidding.
urban
It was just a
legend.
rumor all this time?
Total urban legend.
There's no way that was on TV, especially in those times.
in the 70s.
Yeah, in that
In the
time,
butt,
it
right.
never
In
happened.
the 70s, they were putting
Never
that on.
happened.
Mark, here's the Scrabble. Here we go. Let's roll tape.
Okay.
On the big
So even if things don't work out here today, I can go right over there and suck up to Charlie.
You bet. That's right.
Charlie O'Donnell was the announcer.
Who won the toss backstage? Let's go to the board, Jennifer. We're building on the letter S.
Jimmy's doing
8
his
letters in the
little
word.
shy boy
Some
shtick
of them
up there.
are cooped up all day with a bunch of females.
Some of them are cooped up all day with a bunch of females. Okay, let's start with the 10.
She was not a very good
And the
player.
8.
I should have beaten her.
O and an S.
Place the O. And the F?
$500. Some of them are
feeling it
cooped up
was.
all day with a bunch of females.
Oh, it's...
Come on.
Prostitute.
Hell, must be my day. Yeah, I'll take a couple of tiles. You know what? There's no money over there.
You're
Let me
doing
just guess that.
stick.
Couple of tiles?
Hey, see, I just got it. I just won.
Good job.
I think I'm about to choke. I think we have the, this is the big choke. What do you
Y.
think it could be at this point?
I
How
didn't hear the
about
clue.
the
Okay.
Y?
Some of their fathers urged them to tie the knot. It is S blank O blank T blank.
Scouts.
Continue tape, please.
See, Jimmy, it did come back to you. There's only one stopper left, $500 possible.
It took you about a second
let's
to
go
figure
for
that
it.
out.
S or an O.
Their fathers often urge them to tie the knot.
You keep
correct.
Yo.
repeating the question. He's totally trying to get FaceTime. Totally. And what was the clue?
Can we see the choke, please?
Here we go.
Their fathers often urge them to tie the knot.
Shouts?
All I have to do
It's
is
all
answer.
yours, Jimmy.
Spouts?
Total show. Anyway,
That's amazing.
can I just bring something up real quickly?
Anything that you'd like.
Can I? Because you were on TV recently.
Yeah.
And we can bring this up.
Anything you want, I'll
were
talk
on
about
2020.
No, I was on Dateline.
Dateline, not very
Dateline
long
and
ago.
Oprah.
And they were doing a very serious story on something that a lot of people, that was actually made famous in As Good as It Gets not long ago, and that is obsessive compulsiveness. And they did this big story on that.
Yep.
And you were the feature on it because I guess you have suffered from this your whole life.
I'm the national spokesperson for the Obsessive Compulsive Foundation.
Now,
Are you really?
What
Yeah.
we saw in As Good as It Gets, okay, I mean, that was not blown out of proportion too much. I mean, that's how you are to an extent.
Well, there are extreme cases. He was extreme. I'm not that extreme. And since I went on medication called Luvox and also onto behavior therapy, I don't think you're ever cured, but my life is like 9 million times better. I don't have...
Give us an example
How
of
did you-
before
yeah.
you went on the medication, some
Before?
things that you would do.
My life was straightening and cleaning. I have a house that happens to be too big, and I have a lot of rugs with fringe. And every time I would walk by and that fringe was messed up, I'd have to straighten that fringe. Every book in my office had to be just even with the lip. It couldn't hang over. It couldn't be a quarter of an inch behind. And everything just had to be perfect. My whole life was...
How were your
everything-
clothes? Were your clothes
Oh, well, my
folded in a
closet is
certain-
like a museum. I mean, people come in and take a look at it because every hanger is... That hasn't changed. 2 inches apart and everything hangs straight. And because my feeling is if it's wrinkled in the closet, then it's going to look wrinkled on you. And certainly being on television a lot, you want to look your best. So that still pretty much remains the same. People would knock into the wall and scratch the wall. I would go and get any number of cleaners to get the scratches off the walls.
Did that drive your wife crazy?
Well, it's interesting, yeah. First fight we ever had was the night before our honeymoon. She was packing and she knocked a suitcase into the wall and made a scratch, and I went nuts. But now it's funny. Alice has become cleaner than me after living with me for 24 years.
So the medication, what is it?
Yeah, how does that fix that kind of thing?
It's all about serotonin in the brain, and it's like the brain on hiccups. The serotonin doesn't get where it's supposed to get. And by taking the medication that I took, Luvox, it kind of opened up those transmitters and got it from point A to point B, and it just kind of makes your life better.
The anal pill.
It is. Barnes is this far from
Barnes.
is
Is he really?
needing serotonin or whatever that pill is.
Luvox.
Luvox. Sorry.
Yeah.
So in the movie, when you saw As Good as It Gets, I mean,
Yeah.
you totally could relate to
It was
his
uncomfortable,
behavior.
but some of it was, he was never going to let that dog in his place that quick. He would never let anybody stay at their house. That was the big thing when Alice and I...
Like walking on the cracks of the sidewalk?
Well, that's really extreme. I mean, I've
Okay.
never been that bad, and there are people who are that. I mean, there are people who cannot function, who cannot work, who cannot, from day to day even get out of bed. Obviously, I guess the interesting thing about my life is how did I have this successful career and still live with this? And there are a lot of people, in offices who are CEOs who are so precise, who have this, and part of the reason of their success is because of their obsessive compulsive disorder. It's not necessarily always a bad thing.
And what's bizarre is that here's a guy who's got obsessive compulsive, everything's got to be clean and neat and in order and fun. And what show did he host? Double Dare, where the kids are in goo and slime all the
and that
time.
was really weird because I was ready to quit the business. I had a smoked salmon business. I was saying, this is never going to happen in television. I'm bailing out. When I get this audition for Double Dare, they had auditioned 1,200 people. And, who would have thought that of all the shows in television, I figured Scrabble, Price is Right, Pyramid, that was going to be mine. I'm doing one where I'm throwing green liquids at 11-year-olds and getting, mashed potatoes dropped on my head.
Hey, whatever works, works.
Yeah. So, it was an interesting way to make a living, but there was a lot of suffering going on at the time, and, go figure out.
Fish quiz is something we ask all celebrities to do that come on the show.
All right.
15 seconds to name as many fish as you can.
Oh, come on.
Anything in the water,
This is very easy.
Mark.
Okay.
Hold on.
Anything
Take a second,
counts.
think
Wait
about
till the timer starts.
Okay.
Anything underwater counts.
Anything
okay.
underwater?
Well, no, anything that
living,
swims, anything living
Swims.
underwater.
Okay.
Right, like
Counts.
a crustacean, anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
You ready? On your
Yeah.
mark, get set, go.
Salmon, a trout, pike, walleye, a sea bass, tuna, octopus, crabs, lobsters, sunfish.
10.
That's very
respectable.
respectable. The champion is Coolio, who got 15.
Oh, yeah?
10.
What, Coolio?
Coolio, of all
Believe it or
people, is the
not.
champion.
Let's see, you got 10. Let's see who he beat, Johnny.
Well,
And why do you guys do this?
we don't know why.
Because it beats asking interesting questions.
It does. Now, where do I fall into?
Well,
Who-
Blues
I'll tell you
Traveler.
Blues Traveler, yeah? They did well?
John
Popper was the champ for about a year.
Yeah.
He had 14. Coolio just knocked him off in L.A. 2 weeks ago.
Other people who have scored 10.
Yes.
Bob Costas.
Okay.
Pat O'Brien.
Okay.
You beat Conan O'Brien.
Yeah.
You beat Steve Martin.
Oh, really?
You beat Chris Rock. Let's see. You have beaten Dustin Hoffman.
Oh, no kidding. He was on the show, huh?
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman.
See, if I would have just said locks.
He
I
was
would've
on
been-
there twice. Here, he beat you once. This was Dustin Hoffman.
Trout, catfish, dogfish, calamari, squid, shark, bass, perch, piranha, grunion, sailfish, tuna.
It's hysterical.
Salmon.
He took it very seriously.
He does. That's so funny. It sounds like he's kind of, like it's a guy doing an impression of Dustin Hoffman.
Name this fish quiz contestant.
Brown trout, rainbow trout, Dolly Parton, shark, dolphin,
Jane Fonda?
dorad.
Hey,
very good. You win.
You win, and you win.
What do we get?
A new
Oh, man, I love it.
Thanks, Mark.
The Morning X with Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy.
It feels like it's natural. I don't have the after effects. I don't have the smell.
The best of the Morning X.
99X.